Hey everyone, this is TC, your guiding chariot. This is going to be your daily reading for Saturday, April 13th. Kind of going to be a fun day. I think it's going to be good as long as we kind of can be aware of a few things. Aspects today. So we really only have three. One is the moon is going to be in a sextile to, I was going to say Aries. Moon is in a sextile to Mars. Great aspect. Usually this gives us a little more energy, gives us a little drive. Brings out our more assertive side because of that warrior Mars energy influencing our moon. If kind of left unchecked and kind of allowed to run free, this aspect can maybe make you a little more aggressive than assertive. So something to be aware of. Use that drive and motivation to get some things done, not to be, a bull in a china shop. All right. And I say that because we have two squares also today, one of which I think is going to be influenced by this sextile. The moon is going to be, the sun, I am tired. The sun is going to be in a square to Pluto. This one, not necessarily a bad thing, because again, I always like to talk about squares because they require immediate action. So if you can keep aware of this and kind of keep your eye on it, just something to keep in your back pocket. But this square tends to increase your need for control. The intensity of Pluto is kind of what amps this up. Can also bring like ego conflicts or conflicts to your ego when you challenge or are challenged by an authority figure. Someone who you report to or someone who has a higher status than you. If there's some conflict there, that tension could be increased just by the need to stand out or step above or get ahead. So that's why I'm saying this sextile with Mars, that warrior spirit that's kind of kicked up, which it isn't a sextile, so it's going to be helpful. We don't want to let that go unchecked and let it push us too far, especially when we're dealing with coworkers, or especially if we're dealing with a boss. Like, we don't want to overstep our boundaries or take things too far. Or, it even may be a question of not taking things too personally. You may have a great idea. Your boss, for whatever their reasons are, may have a different idea. Just because you think yours is better doesn't mean you just blow off your bosses and do what you want. You can, state your case, explain your reasonings, but at the end of the day, like, you don't want to be that, troublemaker in the office that's just going rogue because you think you know everything. And that could be whether you're right or wrong. Like, you could totally have the right answer, but, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to how you can persuade, your boss. And again, this sextile with Mars is going to give you some drive and motivation to help that be accomplished if that's the case. Just make sure you're not bossing everyone around and being like a bull in a china shop. Last aspect, the moon is going to be a square to Uranus. Also kind of related because, again, Uranus is our rebel planet. It wants to change things up. It wants to shake things down. So this could be you wanting to do things different or be a little unconventional, break the rules, So there may be, hey. Sorry, my cats were running all over. I thought we were going to jump up here. So you may want to change, the status quo or, how things operate. That may be a thing. So again, you just want to make sure you're doing it the right way. This aspect can also bring, disruptions, unexpected shifts. Sometimes people's mood can be a little uneasy with this. Not always, but it could make them a little more irritable, or at least prone to being a little more irritable. Sorry about that. Trying to think what else. Oh, this rune. If you tend to be a little accident prone, this particular aspect can kind of amp that up. So just be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of your emotions, especially how hot you're getting if you're kind of in a moment. Outside of that, things should be good. All right, things should be pretty easy. I actually really like our rune for today because it sums our three aspects up perfectly, in my opinion. So we have the rune Manas. It's the rune of mankind. But this rune speaks to strength and weaknesses and accepting both, understanding that everyone, including yourself, has both. So there is an idea here of possibly, I'll start with the simpler ones. It can speak to learning new skills or some type of structured learning, something that has to do with like official procedures. Could also be about striving for perfection or greatness. But to me, the core of it is really the acceptance of your strengths and your weaknesses. Knowing that yes, there are things that I do really well, but I still have some opportunities, and those are where you can lean on for support. That's where this, kind of learning new skills ability comes in. So if you really apply yourself, you can strengthen those bits of you that are opportunities. You can leverage, the places where you have strengths to help support the group or lead others or get the job done, all that fun stuff. So to me, the message in the rune is really about taking all the different facets of you, whether they're good, bad, strong, weak, all of that, mixing it together, using them appropriately, leveraging your talents and the talents of those you're working with, and bringing everybody together and working together. Yes, you are an individual with your own talents, but that doesn't mean that you are not part of this group and that you can share these abilities with others. So, big focus today. Accepting strengths, weaknesses, different philosophies, different thoughts, different agendas, and really finding a nice happy middle ground where everyone can work together, and that still may lean on some of these aspects, especially the square with Uranus, because again, that particular aspect wants you to think outside the box, do things different, change the way things have been done. That may be a great thing if things aren't done where everyone is being utilized correctly, or you're not, doing the best work you possibly could. That is where this creative thinking is going to be helpful. And then you have the sextile with Mars to give you a little more drive and make you a little more assertive in getting your point across. Just make sure that, and also that need for control, if used appropriately, could help as well, to help you, kind of step into a leadership role, or helping you to really stake your claim. Again, we just don't want to make sure we're going too far where we're, kind of being a pest. It's really where that's going. All right. I think that's everything I want to talk about. Let's get some cards. Tilt you guys down. All right. So I have just been super obsessed with these new decks. So they are back again. I actually have been using the Mystic Monday Tarot deck in my last couple readings for my clients. So I think I may even, as I promised, I'm going to do a review. The Wild Unknown is going to be the first one I do. I think this one will be the second, just because I am really into it. I'm actually really enjoying this deck. All right. And then this is the Moonology Oracle deck. Oh. All right. So what is this? Mutable? Yep. So we got the mutable moon. So the moon in all of our mutable signs. Nothing is set in stone. I love this, especially when you think about what we were just talking about. Accepting the strengths and weaknesses, changing things up, thinking outside the box. I'm actually so stoked. I kind of feel like I want to get more to add to this, but to me, the nothing is yet set in stone really speaks to the things you're trying to change, or the things that may come up today that maybe you want to challenge. It's not necessarily law. There is some wiggle room. There is, places where you can use some creative freedom. So even if something happens, say that you're not 100% about, or you're feeling, I was going to say, even if you have a certain opinion of something, like you, and whether it's negative or positive, like, I think this is really the understanding that things are constantly changing, and this could definitely change again, whatever this situation is for you. This deck's really like, no, that's what I want you to talk about. I got nothing else to say. That's too much. But yeah, I almost want to say that this, if anyone, especially if this is something that's challenging or feels, ooh, I don't know why that word popped into my head. Well, let's just say, if it feels oppressive in any way, we're going to take that card. I want to say this is almost like the tides. This is just a rocky wave with some choppy seas. It's going to change. It isn't going to last. So again, if you can just ride the waves, take the waves, let them roll in as they do. Don't let them tip you over and make you capsize the boat. Things are changing. It's not set in stone. Things are still mutable. And then you have communication is key, which, yes, I talked about it with the very first aspect. If you have a point to get across, the key isn't just to ignore what was said to you and do what you want. Stake your claim. Explain why you think this is the best thing to do, why this is the best course of action, why you think it's more valuable. And that's really the key. If you can be persuasive enough and honest enough in your opinion, if it truly is the right thing to do and you present your case in the right way, no one's going to be able to fight you and say no to that, all right? And then this is exciting. We have the new moon in Libra cards. We have the new moon in Gemini, new moon in Libra, so lots of new beginnings, it looks like. Lots of things changing. Funny we get 2 new moons after we talk about nothing set in stone. So exciting there. But this is great. A new romantic cycle. A new romantic cycle begins. So could have some new love stories in the mix out there. That I find is super exciting. And actually, I kind of like this too. Bottom of the deck in this deck right now is the full moon in Virgo, but you are good enough. I'm loving that for both of these scenarios, knowing that you're capable enough to, be effective and communicative in whatever situation is going on for you, especially if this is a work thing. And then you're good enough for this new romance, allowing this to come in, not letting any fears, doubts, insecurities, not letting any of that get in your way or mess with your beliefs. I think that's an opportunity to be a little self-compassionate to yourself if you've been going through a rough time. I think that's exciting. Oh, quick shout out. I think it was in yesterday's video, and I meant to reply back, but today I was just out longer than I had expected. I was at work earlier. I believe, now I can't remember who it was. I want to say it was Tia. I think it was Tia. She commented that yesterday was her birthday. Happy birthday, Miss Tia. I hope you had an amazing one. I hope you did something fun to celebrate. I hope everyone got to celebrate with you. Love a good birthday. So happy birthday to you, Tia. All right, let's boop. All right, let's get that out of the way. Ooh, all right, so starting out strong, 5 of Swords. So yes, like I said, definitely could be having some conflict. The Sun square Pluto definitely could bring some conflict if we let things get out of hand. If we take things too personally, or we feel the need to be in control, or feel the need, like I need to be right, and I need to prove to you I'm right. Sometimes it's not about being right. So could have some potential for some issues arising. Ooh! So yes. But I love that we're getting the 10. So 10 of Swords, yes, not the most comfortable card, not even the most comfortable looking card. What is kind of the saving grace here is that this is the end. This is the complete defeat. And I think this could go one of 2 ways. We'll see what our next card is. Hopefully they'll bring us some good news. Because I do think for those of us who don't keep that Mars energy and that, especially that Pluto energy, in check, I think this could be you. You're going to get into a fight and someone is going to have more authority and they're going to trump you. You're just, even if you're right, if you go about this the wrong way, you're going to be fighting a battle you cannot win, and you'll end up just like this. For those who can really harness these energies and still be appropriate and be an effective communicator, definitely, do it with a piece of humble pie in your mouth. Like this, to me, could also be the end result for the ego. Because again, I talked about with the Sun square Pluto, this is a conflict in your ego. You aren't necessarily getting bruised, but your pride and your could feel a little diminutive if someone is challenging you. To me, I think if you can take that and roll with it, this is really going to be a weakening of your ego, which is beautiful. It's not an utter defeat. You can't like just get rid of your ego, but definitely is kind of shutting it down for today. And look at that. Then we get the Fool card. So this is, to me, this is really this could even be the new moon in Libra, but this is a new start, a new reset, new adventure. You know, could even be for some, this could be a sign that you may be being a little naive. Sometimes this card, you know, really just speaks to kind of being a little foolish and jumping off the cliff and not really, you know, seeing it for what it is. I hope that's not the case, and I don't think it's the case. I want to say that almost how you handle today, and how you handle, especially if some type of situation like we were talking about, if that is really part of your, you know, agenda today, if that's part of what plays out for you, I think how you handle it can really maybe get you noticed by the right people, you know, really elevate your standing or your reputation. That could set you up for a fresh new start. I think it has a lot of potential. Oh, look at that. I'm talking about potential. And then we get the Princess of Pentacles. So yes, growth potential for sure. So to me, this is a really positive new beginning, because look, literally unlimited potential waits for it. Got the King of Wands. So great energy. This is someone passionate, impulsive, lots of fire energy. So this also could be influenced by Mars. You could also be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, dealing with someone of a fire sign. But to me, especially coming out in this order, this is really about being driven by your passion, following your desires. You know, this isn't necessarily an energy or a person who plans or thinks a lot about his action. He's literally driven by desire. If he wants it, he's going to go get it. You know, and this is a guy who kind of finds success because he just knuckles down. You know, he's pretty successful at whatever he touches. And a lot of it is just he naturally is kind of a jack of all trades. You see that energy in the Knight. This is an elevated version of as the King. This is like a master of all trades almost. So it's kind of like no matter what he gets his hands to, he has at least the experience and know-how how to get this ball rolling. But it's really his drive and his passion. This is something that's very important to him. He's dedicated to it. He wants to see it happen. So lots and lots of drive in there. And look at what he created. 10 of Cups. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So those of you who are going through this shift, and I do think this is really heavily focused on work. Doesn't have to be, but I do think it's heavily focused on work. There may be some resolution that's coming about. And again, if you can handle it appropriately and let this be the defeat of your ego, I think the recognition you get from it and the version of yourself that people see coming out of this situation, you are in a very positive standing. And I think it's a beautiful opportunity for you to really create, you know, the dream job or the environment of your dreams. Because again, here we are with the 10 of Cups. For those of you who connect with the romantic cycle, this could be an opportunity to meet this King of Wands, someone who's very passionate, action-oriented, wants to be involved and make the commitment that leads to, again, this 10 of Cups. So this works for either scenario. If it's the work one or if it's the romantic one, they could be connected. You know, it's general, so I want to make sure we fit all the circumstances in. But key thing is here, any conflict or tension, if you can resolve it appropriately, respectfully, definitely going to get the recognition you deserve for it, and also the setup for a very happy ending. Very, very cool. Again, talked about balancing strengths and weaknesses, accepting that you're not 100% perfect, you can't do everything all on your own, you don't always have the right answers, you may in this moment, you may not. It's about your belief in what it is you're saying and why it's important. If you can convince someone else of that, that is going to make this so much smoother. You know, going in, it should be done this way because I said so, not going to help you. That will change the scenario, and this will be you. And you may have a new beginning, but it may not be as positive as this one. Just saying. But again, those of you who can keep those aspects in mind and know what energies we have to work with, this is going to pan out way more effectively and way more positively. All right? All right, my loves, I'm going to wrap it up here. As always, thank you for sending all your amazing comments, all the love you've been giving me. I send it right back to you. You guys are amazing. Thank you also for all the likes, the comments, subscriptions. Again, happy birthday or happy belated birthday now, Miss Tia. I hope you had a good one. As always, I love hearing from you guys. So if you want to connect with me, you can do so down below in the comment section. You can DM me on Instagram at The Guiding Chariot. And if you want to book a private session with me, all that info will be in the description box. Take care. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a good one, and have a good weekend.